generally don't like to start an episode comparing the anime I'm talking about with the competitor. But after watching this, I feel like the guys at Sunrise watched something that A1 was doing and basically adapted it to their own work. And at the end of the day, I quite like it. Hello everyone, welcome to the Weeb Initiative. I'm your host, the Weeb. This is the show where every other week I'll be talking about anime, manga, and everything in between. This week I'll be talking about, following our little idol series, the next entry in the Love Live franchise, Love Live Nijigasaki High School Idol Club. I will be just saying Niji or Nijigasaki for a matter of, this is a really hard name to actually say. This is a theme across this episode. Probably there's one of the girls that I actually have a hard time actually pronouncing her name, but still. Being said, let's first start with the disclaimer. So first off, spoiler alert, I will be talking about everything about the first season. This is the episode only about the first season, but still, I'll be talking about most of the story of the first season. Although there's not that much story, I'll get there when I get there, but still, spoiler alert. The second thing, this is just for the first season, so the second season I will be talking about in a later episode. And in a weird twist, I may need to actually watch the movies. Will come out, I think, at the time of recording. I don't actually know if they came out already or they are about to be out, so still this is something to the future. I don't actually know. So now that the disclaimers are out of the way, let's get to the actual stats. So Nijigasaki is basically a spin-off of the original Love Live. So we have the original Love Live, we have Sunshine, which are mainline ones. So, and then now we have Nijigasaki as a spin-off. Originally, it was part of one of the spin-off games of the series and also included in the Love Live School Idol Festival, that I think it's the mobile front of the Love Live franchise. I don't actually play any of these. I don't really think they are available in the West, and I don't actually want to download a VPN on my cell phone just to play a goddamn gacha game. Let's be honest here, that's way too much effort. That's just me saying, but still. So at first it was a spin-off game, so they eventually came out with the adaptation, making an anime and a manga to accompany it, more or less. So the first season of the anime came out in October 2020 and ended in December 2020, and the second season came out in April 2022 and ended in June 2022. The spin-off manga that basically covers, I think, the whole story came out 2018 to 2022 with 2 volumes. Each of the seasons of the anime have 13 episodes plus some OVAs. They did, let's say, in-depth OVA in 2023. And then we have 3 movies released, let's scheduled to 2024 and onward. And that's the basic stats of it. This is pretty big to be a spin-off, let's just say. But I think, and this is me saying, alright, this is made by Sunrise, the same guys who did the original Love Live and Sunshine, so there is something there. The whole thing kind of feels really weird, and I will talk why a little later, but easy to say. This starts off really similar to the other Love Live, so we get to meet our 2, let's say, main girls, being you. I will not be talking about any of the surnames because at this point I don't actually remember any of this. So you and Ayumu, they are 2 high schoolers. They go to a high school that I don't actually know how you would say that, but easy to say that at the start of the anime, with the amount of presentation that they show, the size and the scale of the school and the whole campus and the whole thing, let's just say, if they actually say that the school's closing down, I feel like they are closing down for good, because it's way too big to have the recovery story that the other ones had. And this is more on me because I really started with low expectations, considering that Sunshine took so much from the original one and just went with it. And I was really afraid that they would make it, let's say, kind of mold to actually do everything as the first one. And easy to say that the presentation and the scale of things brought me some kind of relief, because at that point I just thought, yeah, this is going to be different. I'm safe. So basically, Yu and Ayumu, they don't actually do anything. They, as let's say, they just study. They don't have any clubs or anything besides normal school days. And at the very first episode, we see that one of these days that they are not doing anything specific, they stumble upon I don't actually know if it was scheduled or impromptu. It feels kind of impromptu live of one of the school idols from their school that they eventually find out. Setsuna Yuki, they eventually find out her name and so on and so forth. But easy to say that from this point on, watching the live go on, you basically get that a really strong feeling that she loves school idols. It's a trope that at this point it's pretty, let's say, feels kind of overdone, considering the amount of recent idol animes that I reviewed. Goes with Idol Master Million Life, goes with Love Live Sunshine. So it's a trope that the more I see, the more I feel like this is a normal one. Not to say that it's a bad trope. I think it's it goes to show that the sole notion of watching a live show and actually getting the enough passion to go after and actually become a school idol, it's something really nice. But it's not really the case here, because although she gets that love for school idols or idols in general, they focus more on school idols throughout this anime. I think that it is to basically tame and basically, let's say, suss out all the possible ramifications that they have with the adult world, so it doesn't actually get too serious, and all things considered, pretty okay. That's just a detail that I wanted to bring to light. So basically, they watch this show. The first song that they show off, actually good. I would not say it's like the best I ever heard. It's not on the level that I would actually add to my playlist, but easy to say, it's really, really good. It really shows off the amount of the quality that they can put out, and really it's just good. That's the thing. It's not for my taste specifically, but it's a really nice song that Setsuna Yuki does solo. And they watch the show, you get super excited, and they basically talking to each other, Ayumu and you. They basically get the idea, let's see if we got a school idol club in our school, because at this point we don't do anything after school, so going to the school idol club would be a really nice thing. That being said, the next day they go to the school to find out that be this club, and basically they find out that first off, the school is really, really big in and of itself. So again, the scale of the whole school basically says to us audience that this is not your normal love life. So this will not be a story about schools closing for once, because at this point I think that this is the third season of the third entry in the franchise. So basically this will not follow the same formula that the old ones did. That being said, they go after the school idol club. They find it, but as they find it, they find out that it's being disbanded after only, I think they mention it, like 3 months of being formed. So basically the club is being disbanded 3 months after they begin activities, let's say. And with such a strong performance, it's easy to say that you and Ayumu at this point, Ayumu is not really on the train at this point, she's really on the fence about it, but easy to say that at this point Yu is basically devastated that the one girl that made her being to school idols is not performing anymore. That being said, they come up with a plan that they want to actually reform the club and basically make it work out this time. It comes out really as really sudden. It's a plot point that I wish they worked out more, because this will be resolved by the 4th episode, where it said that disclaimers, spoiler alert, but still, this is a really quick plot point that I wish they worked out better. But at the same time, I can see why they would want that to be as fast as they did, even though it chains up with another plot point, so eventually it makes more sense. But still, they basically go after getting members for the club, because as all, I don't know if this is a general rule or whatever, they need 5 people to actually to form a club. So they go to the student council president. The student council president goes a bit with the norm, the one trope that we already see from Love Live in general, that she's against the club existing because for whatever reason she doesn't actually like school idols. This is a dead giveaway to say that the president will eventually be one of the members, but in this case it's a bit more special. I'll get to that. But then more or less the first episode, where they get this whole setup with the school idols club being disbanded, you basically convincing Ayumu to get on the school idol train. So Ayumu wants to be a school idol just for you, and this is a plot point that will come up later. Unfortunately, I'll get to that. But Ayumu wants to become a school idol, and so they want to reform the club. And Setsuna Yuki, for all that we know at this point, she one-sidedly disbanded the club and went AWOL from the school. So we don't actually know where Setsuna Yuki is. I just remember her surname because this is a tangent, alright, but I don't want anyone to think that she's especially the best girl in the series, because frankly I don't think she is, but she's more special. It's not really her real name, but I'll get to that. And this is the one detail that I want to actually say here. This first episode, they have the Setsuna Yuki show. The second episode, I think, it's when they actually start to actually try to get people to get in the club and so on and so forth. We get a special, let's say, a insert song for Ayumu specifically. And by the third episode, the story runs a bit. We get to actually see some of the girls that will eventually be part of the club, and a lot of discussion on the girls that were part of the club before it disbanded, on why and where is Setsuna-chan and where is Setsuna now that she disbanded the club and so on and so forth. That being said, the second episode, then we have the insert song for Ayumu. The third episode, basically we get the, not really introduction, but we get the development of the arc of our third member, and the eventual club president, Kasumi. Kasumi is one of the first years. She feels really like Miku from Idolmaster Cinderella Girls, specifically on her mannerisms and the way that she talks. I don't think it's the same VA, but it feels, the writing on her feels really akin to Miku. Not in a bad way, it's not really a copy. It still has a touch of originality to it, and for the most part she becomes the bottom of the jokes for the most part. And really, this is just to say that it's the same, let's say, archetype, that kind of cute by nature, but she forces up the cuteness because she wants to be a cute idol, and it doesn't work out really well, you know. That being said, the whole thing kind of goes in a certain way. We get her insert song in the third episode, and basically the whole thing about where Setsuna Yuki is, it kind of becomes more, say, it kind of just got resolved by the fourth episode, sorry, because at some point they just meet with the girls that were on the club, and they just give out the answer, which was really, I don't know, anticlimactic for once, because they just give out the answer, more or less. They just write off that plot point, the plot line altogether, and reveal that actually Setsuna Yuki is the alter ego for the student council president Shizuku. And then we get this whole thing where she actually reveals herself to you, but she doesn't actually want to go back to being a school idol because she wants to study and live her normal school life. But then you basically enthuses her on why idols are so important, why she's so important to her, because she's the one that basically brought her into this world. And is to say, the whole thing kind of works out at the end. Setsuna has her insert song in the front of the whole school. The way they do these insert songs are really, they actually like sing the whole song in the rewards, not like let's say stop time and do the song like the more or less the way they did in Cinderella Girls originally, but they actually do it. Some of the scenes are better and more on theme to have the song than others, but yeah, we get what we get. It's really a detail at this point, it's not really important, but still. That being said, the 4th episode, then we get the club reunited in full, so all the girls are back. Still though, we have one of the girls that don't actually are part of, she's added later, but she's added for like by the end of the 6th episode, 7th maybe. It's not really important. Then from this point on, I'll just gloss over this really quickly. We have one episode for each of the girls. So this is not in order, okay? I don't actually remember the order really. But then we have one episode for Emma, one for Ai, one for Kanata, Rina, Karin, and Shizuku. I think I said all the 9 names that appear in the first season. So again, we have Yu, Ayumu, Kasumi, Shizuku, Karin, Ai, Kanata, Setsuna, Emma, and Rina. Actually, there are 10 names, but there is this one exception here that actually doesn't actually act as an idol. And this is the theme here, she's actually the producer for this season, and I'll talk more when I get to my opinion, but still, we have one episode for each of the girls. Each episode comes with their aspirations, one of their, let's say, problems, conflicts, and then one insert song at the end when they actually get a resolution for the problems. So each of them has kind of a different flavor of the whole thing. They are not, I would not say that they are not really like the Idol Master, because they are not really that deep in a way. They don't actually get heavy when they would get heavy. Not the same way that basically Sunshine did, where they would laugh it off and just cut the subject there, but they are really themes geared towards more of a high school setting. It's not really a problem that affects the whole life of a person for the most part, and they don't actually get any heavier than you would think. It's really like they use the PG version of inner conflict, more than actually doing the same thing that the OG Idol Master did or Cinderella Girls did, where the conflicts were sometimes really, really hard. That being said, right, the whole thing kind of works out in the end, so we go through the whole season more or less until episode 10. The whole thing works out like that. So each episode we are presented with focus on one girl, and basically this one girl will show us her aspirations. The same thing again, akin to the Idol Master, with only one episode. So because we only have at this point 13 episodes, that's alright. It's, let's say, really close to what they did in U149 rather than the OG Idol Master or Cinderella Girls. Anyway, so after that we have episode 11, where unfortunately I was going to give this, and I don't mention this too much because I think that doesn't actually matter for most people, but I try to keep my anime list and my manga list updated on my anime list profile, link in this description. But the thing is, right, they use a numerical value, something that I, for the longest time, at this point, I think I stopped using it in broad terms, because I just noticed that numerically this doesn't actually make sense for most shows, because as this is a subject that carries more of a qualitative analysis rather than a quantitative or something that you can actually measure, I came to understand that numerical values don't actually help when reviewing something like this, because this is a multimedia project, and audio, visual, and story, we can't actually measure this in numbers. So easy to say that I personally don't use numerical values, but I try to keep something consistent in my anime list. That being said, I was going to give it a 10, and because of these last 3 episodes, or more the 11th and the 12th, I will not give it a 10, I will give it a 9, because I think that they more or less botched something that they didn't actually need to. They really created something that I don't actually think needed to be created to create drama. At that point, I think the story was pretty alright, it's pretty settled, everything was going great, and they added this just to basically spite me. I say like I'm the most important person, but it's just out of spite really, because it's so out of place. So basically, remember when I said that Ayumu just started to be an idol because she wanted to be an idol for you? You, at some point, because of a misunderstanding, gets a bit too close to Setsuna let's just say she gets a bit too close to Setsuna in a classic case of anime characters misunderstanding personal space. And basically, Ayumu sees this, doesn't actually have context, and gets angry for no reason. Then Yu wants to basically sort it out. Ayumu gives her a hard time. It becomes kind of awkward. The whole thing kind of really gets weird, and they basically try to press on with the ship. So Ayumu would be they try to press it at one point in there, but don't actually get a resolution. And eventually they talk it out in the 12th episode and basically redo the Ayumu arc, let's say, just to kind of get somewhere. It's not really important what actually happened or what actually happens after, but basically they just press the ship on. So Yu and Ayumu are one of the ships that they try to really solidify at the end of the season. I don't actually know why they did this. Felt way too much like the last bit of arc that they had in Sunshine, and really just spoiled a bit of the series for me. It was going really great. I was vibing all the way. Oh my god. And the 13th episode is just really, they basically get this whole idea of having a festival for all the girls and all the school idol groups in the city to actually participate in, so they can get fans and idols connected, and just to be a good thing for everyone, which in a way it's really idealistic and unrealistic at the same time, but at the same time it's pretty nice. It feels nice. The idea is good, and they do it. It's really good, and the whole thing kind of just works out. The ending of the season is just a setup for the second one, because they don't actually get anywhere. I swear that at the beginning of the season they mentioned entering Love Life, but throughout the whole series at this point they didn't mention it one bit since then, which adds to realism, really adds to this feeling that I have that Love Life, they always blow the thing proportion too quickly, because one day the group, they have no fans, and then 2 days later, we are big, we can go to Love Live. And this one, at the very least, they kept it kind of tame, so went pretty well. That's the thing. And now to my opinion, so I can actually talk about this whole thing. Where do I start? So, as I said at the beginning, this feels way too much like Idolmaster, and I don't want this to be like a bad thing, because at the end of the day, I'm biased. I love Idolmaster. I really love it. And it's to say that the first thing that caught my eye when I started watching this is that they really changed the art style. This is the first thing. It felt way too close. And in a way, I think it is intended. It felt way too close to the original Idolmaster, and obviously Cinderella Girls. Not only that, but the episode structure really not caught me off guard. But when I saw the first episode, and there is the Setsuna insert song. I thought, okay, that's pretty good song. This is a thing that I want to set in here. The songs in this season really nice. Not all of them are bangers, but man, oh my god, they really went out there to get it right. So and this extends to the opening. The opening, it gives me the vague memory of, I think, Change, but it's really faint. It's not really similar in any way, let's just say that. But the idea, the feeling that it gives, the visuals plus the music, it gives out this feeling. I don't actually know how, and I don't actually know if my brain is just hardwired to see Idolmaster and everything, but it just feels that. That being said, talking about the original thing I was talking about, so when I saw the first episode with Setsuna actually doing her presentation, I just thought, okay, this is part of the anime. They need to have the presentation for the start, and for once we actually have the presentation, because at the start of Sunshine we didn't have the presentation. Actually, we just had the flashback. That's okay. Add that to the fact that we have this change in art style and somewhat in animation and framing that feels way too close to the original Idolmaster. Not in a bad way, again. When the second episode hits and then we get the insert for Ayumu, I just thought, oh my god, they are actually doing it. They are really following my critique. They are doing it like the Idolmaster. Oh my god, this is real. And I just thought, oh, probably isn't it. And then the third episode comes up when Kasumi does her insert song, and I just thought, okay, we are on it. This is it. This is going to be Love Live meets Idolmaster. Probably not intended for Idolmaster, but whatever, because this feels good. And let's just say, at the point in the story, I glossed over the whole story at the end of the day, but at the point in the story, I just got it. The whole thing feels like they watched, because let's be frank here, I have in my head canon that most people prefer the Idolmaster rather than the Love Live, and I think that the critique for the most part came out that maybe Sunshine wasn't the best product, because again, and basically this is all my opinion, so take it with a grain of salt. I don't actually know if this kind of things happen. I don't actually have any contacts inside this industry, but this is what I feel like happened. Like, the whole thing kind of feels like Sunshine was heavily criticized by being way too close to the original, which again I think was a cop out. Then they see that the Idolmaster, every fucking time they release a new anime, how sparse it is, except for Million Live, but at that point I think the Million Live wasn't out yet. So anyways, every time they release one, it sells like gangbusters. It's huge, and so they just went, watch that and let's do something like they do. And that comes to the main point that I want to actually address, because I'm repeating myself in saying that, oh, this is just like Idolmaster, just like Idolmaster, and it is in a way, in a vibe, in the structure, maybe you can say it's similar, but I want to point out that this is still Love Live at the end of the day, because although they do the same episode structure and the way that they do the theming for each girl and so on and so forth, I want to say that the girls are unique. For the most part, they have the tropes that many of other girls in either Idolmaster or even Love Live, the original ones, Love Live, have, but each of the girls is unique. They have really distinct, I would not say designs, but the idea, the construction of the character, they are really different from each other. They are really different in general to the rest of the market. So I would say that they have originality in there, and this is the point that I can't really describe. I can't really point to a certain timestamp for you to see, but although it feels way too close to Idolmaster, it still retains the Love Live energy, that over the top energy that they do, the slightly cute overload for when they are being really cute with each other, with the whole thing, still contains that. The scenes, they are not handled like the other master did. In many ways, they still laugh off some of the heavier themes. They use jokes when you would think that they wouldn't, and for the most part, I feel like this is a major improvement overall in many ways, because I think that they basically responded to all my criticism that I had with Sunshine. It became more personal because I know the girls now. It formed the group in a way that actually it feels inside the proportions, so they are just a school idol group, so they are a club within a school, although the school is really, really huge, and this is a thing, alright? Taking a really big tangent here just to talk about presentation. The one thing that sold me out on this anime and just told me for my lizard brain that yes, this is just like Idolmaster is a presentation. That they did what Cinderella Girls did, basically. They presented the main building that they live in. In the case of Cinderella Girls was the Mishiro Pro agency, the huge castle that looks like Disney. And now in this, they presented the school that feels like I don't actually remember the name of the construction. It feels like the Kiba Center where Comic-Cat usually gets held in. I don't actually remember the name, sorry. But the thing is, they really get to work in presentation. So these beautiful shots of the backgrounds and the school and the ambience they're in, the backgrounds in general are just improved overall, and the whole thing kind of feels way too close to Idolm. And this is the thing, right? They got that part really, really down. They really got down to work on it, so it feels way too much like Idolmaster in a good way. The presentation is awesome. The presentation is the best presentation that I've seen in a Love Live anime. Oh my god. The whole thing kind of feels right. Just feels right. Now, going back to the way that they approach things. So, there is still a bit of over-the-top scenes. Namely, the one that I feel like, oh my god, it's way over the top is when Setsuna comes back to the club in the 4th episode, I think. When she actually gives the presentation to the whole school. I think that is peak Love Live moments. And going from there, we still have some of the insert songs that happen in the middle of, in the middle of the street. It's really, really weird, but still, the girls, as I already said, they are unique. They feel unique for the most part. They really do their own thing. Now I need to set my quota for talking about the best girl. Best girl in this series is, for me at the very least, is Rina or Rinari. I think that she's really, really, it's just cute. It feels cute. The thing with her specifically is that she has a really hard time expressing herself, so her expression doesn't actually change, and so she has this really, really weird complex with communicating with other people, because she doesn't like the fact that she can't really express her emotions, and so her episode builds out from there. It ends up with, and this is a really small thing, but I love it, is that whenever she's actually talking to anyone after that episode, she brings up this basically notepad art. I don't actually know how, sketchboard, whatever, a sketchbook with an expression drawn into it. And it's really cute. I feel like it's really, really cute. Not only that, but when she presents a song, she uses a mask to actually show off her emotion in pixels. It's a really, as she's more of a geeky tech kind of inclined girl, it really fits the character. And this is a really neat touch. I really like her because I think she's overall cute by doing this kind of weird stuff, but her episode is really cute overall. Now, talking, if I would really stretch some things out, Ayumu feels really like Shizuku at the start of Cinderella Girls. I feels way too much like Kirari, as I already said. Kasumi feels like Miku in some ways, and the list goes from there. But in general, I don't actually feel like these are fair comparisons because they are really far apart. The one thing that I want you to take out from this review is that this anime is pretty good. That's the whole thing. I really like this one. I didn't expect it. I really thought that I would get a low grade. Like, oh my god, how do they keep coming out with this kind of shit? If this goes like the last one, I will seriously drop it, and so on and so forth. Oh, when I saw everything going on, oh my god, this was awesome. I didn't really touch much on it, but the fact that you act more like a producer for the most part, being that emotional ping to every one of the girls, that she ends up helping everyone when they get their own struggles and doing her own stuff, and at the end, unfortunately, they spoiled it with the Ayumu kind of jealousies. I don't actually. Oh my god, why did they do that? Yeah, the thing was perfect till that point, and I think that she works really well in a role as I already said, air quotes, the producer of the show. It's really, oh my god, and it fits too, because at the end of the day, she's just one of the girls in the School Idol Club that's just there because she loves school idols and she's surrounded by it. It feels somewhat like the audience at the end of the day, because I feel like the audience at the end of the day is watching this because they love idols in general, right? Not only school idols, but they love idols. And at the end of the day, we as audience are just there to cheer them on. And it feels, I feel like this is a connection they made, that you at the end of the day is the audience watching the girls grow and being there besides them and watching the developments and so on and so forth. And this is a pretty nice thing. I feel like it's a really good implementation of the role. And overall, I think that's about it. As I already said, the art style, I love it. The art style is pretty good. Some of the frames are weird, but I will not get to that. Actually, they didn't use as much 3D this time. It felt really nice. It feels like Idolmaster again, in a good way. The music is pretty awesome. Some of the songs are better than others. This is bound to happen, but I feel like the let's say the medium of the quality of the songs really went up. This may be because they used a more modern approach to how they write songs. I don't actually know really the reason, but it feels good, feels right. And the art, I think they really just went out of their way to get some really nice designs for each of the girls. I think Shizuku specifically, I swear to god, it's the same design as Huki from Infinite Stratos. For no real reason that I'm saying this, but whatever. All the girls, I think they are really nice. The characters in general are really nice. Although it feels, I'm repeating this same phrase again and again, but this is the tagline for this whole thing. Although it feels like they really copied Idolmaster, they really did get the idea and put their own spin on it. And this to me was the perfect mix. It is Love Live with the Idolmaster essence or ideas. And this to me fits perfect. This was, and I'm comfortable saying this was the best Love Live I watched. This was the best Love Live I watched. No context. Absolutely banger. Highly recommend anyone to watch it. If you like Love Live, I think that you will like the way they did it, more or less. There is a caveat that some people may like Love Live for the things that they took out, so there's this maybe that if you are a Love Live fan, you probably there's a chance that you won't like it, because it lacks that cuteness factor that they had, where it was all cute all the time, so it didn't feel, the conflicts didn't feel heavy at all. And this may be a thing that you miss, but in the other hand, if you are Idolmaster fan watching Love Live, I feel like this is the Love Live to watch. It was pretty good. I vibed way too much with it. Absolutely, oh my god, really nice. And that's about it. So before I keep on rambling, Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. Please like, please share, please follow, depending on the platform you're in. And I hope you stick around for next time. Bye.